What's going on, family? This is Derrick L. McRae. That's right. I'm coming to you today with a new podcast. I'm excited about today's discussion. What I need you to do is I need you to get everybody you know connected, because we're about to dive into some stuff. It ain't no telling what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it, but know that at the end of the day, it's going to be something that hopefully will benefit all of us. So I want you to go ahead, get your family, your friends, tell everybody to jump in, because we got a lot to say, a little time to say it. It's the podcast. That's right. Unscripted. What's going on, family? Listen, I am super excited again. It's another great day. Great things are happening. So much is going on. And listen, every day that I wake up, I recognize it's a time. It's a day to be really just more intentional about purpose and passion. And so today I want to let's go ahead and jump into our spotlight. Y'all know what spotlight is. This is the time that we get to highlight somebody else who's doing phenomenal work in our communities. And I want to highlight today a phenomenal man of God out of Dallas, Texas. That is Dr. Frederick D Haynes III. That's right. You know who he is. He's the pastor of Friendship West Baptist Church there in Dallas. Pastor Haynes does a lot of phenomenal things from the standpoint of his outreach ministry. When I think about outreach, and I like to consider myself to be an outreach individual, I think that Dr. Haynes gives the blueprint for how outreach is supposed to take place. Listen, this is just some of the accomplishments that he has been able to do. He literally decreased crime and violence in the church's neighborhood through partnerships with local officials and neighborhood groups. This man has also adopted churches in the villages down in Africa, in Zimbabwe, doing some phenomenal stuff in South Africa and in Haiti to provide resources and spiritual and also economical development in those nations. He's also an activist. He's big on civil rights and voting rights as well. Not to mention the fact that he started this program, this internship program, and this is the Thrive Intern Leadership Program, which even President Barack Obama himself recognized because of the fact that he literally was helping Black males in the Texas community do some phenomenal things. Man, the list can keep going on. I'm an HBCU dude as well, and he gave $1 million to HBCUs. Now that's huge. $1 million to the HBCUs. It talks about his passion. It talks about his love. And then he also gave $2 million in scholarship aids to students who are members of his church. Man, Dr. Haynes, our hat is tipped to you. We honor you. We reverence what you're doing. Keep up the great work. Matter of fact, let's add some applause right there to it. That's right. Add some applause right there to it, because he's doing a phenomenal work, y'all. We got to get comfortable in celebrating other people. And today, Dr. Haynes, man, it's your day, man. We are celebrating you. Keep up the great work, man. And everybody that know him, everybody that's in Texas, make sure you get connected with Dr. Haynes as he's doing some great work. If you want to be a change agent, connect to somebody who's making change. All right, let's jump into this today. Listen, now we've done the great thing with Dr. Haynes, and we talked about what he's done. We talked about some of the things that he's doing. This is the Don't Cancel Me segment of this show. So check this out. Don't cancel me. Don't cancel me. But I want to talk today about millionaires and billionaires accountability, because something that I found that takes place so often is we got a lot of individuals who see other people's accomplishments. And when they see their accomplishments, they tend to dog out their accomplishments and then try to tell people how to spend their own money. I'm thinking about this guy. So everybody know Jeff Bezos. We know him. We know that Jeff just launched the rocket program, the Blue Origin, I think is what they called it, Blue Origin program that he launched, and he went off into space, and he was basically kind of competing with this other guy as well, who was another billionaire as well, and they were just talking about going up into space. And man, our culture went ham on these guys because of the fact that they felt like they should be spending their money in a different way. Note this now, Jeff, he did commit to $1 billion. He committed to $1 billion to go towards this effort for him. So he's committing $1 billion towards the space program. So that's cool. Now, dude is worth, I think, like $205 billion. He's worth $205 billion. Now, he committed $1 billion of his own $205 billion to an effort that he has passion for. Now let's go even further. Before he went up in the air, he also sold $6.6 billion of his own Amazon stock to feed a fetish in which he wanted. So he sold some of his own stuff to do some of his own things. Now, he does this, he goes up and people start tripping. They start tripping about the fact that he should be giving more money. They start tripping about that he should be doing greater with his money. And the truth is, man, I'm kind of just sick and tired of people telling people how to spend their own money. Like literally, like why, who gave you the rights to tell people how to spend their own money? But while we looking at Jeff and talking about what he should be doing, really, let's look at ourselves, because each and every one of us, we make something. And how well do we give what we make back to the community? Like a lot of us, man, maybe you don't make $1 billion, maybe you don't make $1 million, maybe you're not even making 6 figures. I understand that. And no shade on anybody for whatever status you're at. What I am saying is that you can't sit and talk about somebody else unless you really are talking about yourself first. What are you giving? How much money are you employing? Like what change are you making? Who knows you outside of your social media status and your Facebooks and your community, because you the most popular thing on the streets? Like who knows you as well? Where are your dollars going? Because something that I found, especially in our communities, African Americans, we find that we give the least amount of money to our very own functions. Watch this. We don't give to our own schools, even though we come out of HBCUs and now we have jobs because of our HBCU experiences. So we do a great job in buying paraphernalia and repping, but we don't do a good job in giving back to the institutions. Now, Jeff Bezos, let's talk there. Not only did this dude spend his own money to go up, he also is noted for giving $100 million to the Van Jones Corporation, telling him to whatever he wants to do for his own charity. And from my understanding, it's going to be kind of catered towards some HBCU activities as well. And then he also turned around and helped this dude named Jose Andres as well by giving him $100 million. So the dude is paying it back. Now, somebody may say it ain't enough. Well, says who? The dude is paying it back. He's giving money back. He's done more than you and I've done. So let's stop tripping. So the moral of the story that I'm saying to you is this. Man, let everybody have their own way that they do their money. Stop counting my dollars. Don't look at my car and tell me what I should and shouldn't drive. Don't look at my house and tell me what I should and shouldn't live in. Don't look at my clothes and tell me what I should and should not buy. Mind your own business. All right, please don't cancel me. It's just my opinion. All right, let's jump into this. I got a story I want to talk about, because today's segment is kind of talking around curious conversations. And so we're dealing with the curious conversations. And I remember counseling. I'm a pastor, for those that don't know. I'm a pastor in the Central Florida area. And I remember counseling with one of my members who was going through some very, very challenging times as it relates to how to deal with people. And so as I was talking to this member about how to deal with people, this member was dealing with a lot of hurt, dealing with a lot of distrust. Some backbiting had happened with this member, and they were asking me, how to deal with it. And so every time the member tried to tell me about what they felt, I kept telling the member a different way, an alternative way to handle their emotions. And the member kept saying to me, man, this is some bull, man. Like I hear you. And almost as if the member put me in a position of being like the superhero kind of dude. And I'm not the superhero kind of dude at all. But I unlocked to the member how it is and why it is and what I do in order to have my mind together. And when I was telling her about this, I told her, I said, the only way that I'm able to do what I do is I don't resolve in my own thoughts. I don't resolve to my own thoughts. I literally have to recognize my limited abilities. And then I have to stretch myself to somebody else that is stronger than I. So I literally have to find myself in a place of prayer. For me, prayer is not ritual. Prayer is not just something that I do in church. It's not just something that I do because my grandmama told me to do it or my mom told me to do it. No, prayer is a mental release for me. And I want to say to you today that even as we see in this story, that's necessary. Matter of fact, let's cut the music. Let's jump directly into our discussion today, because I want to talk to you so much about that word called prayer. When we talk about curious conversations. That word curious means it's something that we're intrigued to figure out. And oftentimes I've looked at extremely successful people and I've wondered how in the world do they stay successful? Like one of my mentors once told me, Derrick, it's not what you need. It's knowing how to request it. It's knowing how to jump into the conversation in order to see it come to pass. Because it's not that many of us don't have the capabilities or the qualifications to be at that next level. It's often that we don't have the knowledge to unlock. We don't know the language of the time in order to unlock the things of the desires. We don't know the language of the time. And every level has a language. I'm going to say that again. That was good. If I was in church, I'd say turn to your neighbor and tell your neighbor every level has a language. But I ain't in church. But every level has a language. No matter what it is that you're trying to get into, there's another language to it. When you was young, you was a kid, you would get a little love letter every once in a while, and it would be folded all nice. They have the corners all folded up. And if you was a real smooth little kid like I was, you would spray a little cologne on the letter so that when the girl opens the letter, oh my gosh, she smelt you. And so, that's how it was when you was young. But at that level, you would write this little letter and you didn't have a lot of words at the time because you was young. And so you didn't have a lot of words back then, but you would say something like, I like you, or I love you. Do you love me? And then it would be these little boxes that they could check yes or no. And then when they would check yes or no, then you get your response. But when you got a little older, them little letters wasn't working no more. You had to start putting paragraphs together. You had to start really being able to describe and have more candid conversations to really open up who you were. You had to develop a level of communication that can get you a release to certain desires that you have. When we're talking about curious conversations, man, today I'm talking about prayer. I'm talking about we have to open up and be able to ask God anything. And that's a challenge for us. Because sometimes we don't like to ask God anything because for some reason, we believe in our minds that God is unaware of some of the stuff because we ain't said it to him. We think that since I ain't said it to God, that he's unaware of some of the stuff. And so we find ourselves sometimes not always being honest with God. We find ourselves not being totally vulnerable with God. And so we don't always ask those tough questions. And the truth is that what prayer really is it's a casual communication with God. That's what prayer is. It's communicating with God. It's having a candid conversation, not full of pride, not with an image in mind. It's a conversation that we have with God. And then the question becomes, so why do we pray? We pray because we recognize that there are certain things that we need to have release that we don't have release. We pray because we recognize that there are certain things that we cannot afford to tell friends and families. And I don't know about y'all, but I found myself in times past where I was talking to family, talking to friends, and there's nothing more frustrating than having a conversation with family and friends and they not be able to give valuable contributions to the conversation. It's nothing because when you arrive to the place of prayer, in most cases, it's our last resort. It's our final destination. It's the cusp before we begin to literally freak out and drop the ball. It's before we give up, before we commit that suicide. That's when we usually arrive at this place of prayer. And it's nothing more frustrating than me arriving at this place of prayer only to find out that, man, the people that I'm talking to, man, they have nothing to contribute. Now that's a whole nother discussion because we really need to talk one day about making sure that the surroundings can satisfy and support the efforts in which you need. Because when you really become mature, you recognize it's not just about having a circle of people around you. You want to have the right people in the circle, people that can contribute to you, people that can help you, people that got something in their life experiences that can really talk to you. you. But what you have is this. You have this element in prayer where I can talk to Jesus. Grandma used to say it like this: have a little talk with Jesus. Tell him all about my problems. And so you have this little talk with Jesus. And when you have this talk with Christ, you find that now prayer begins to give you a safe place for release. Can I say that again? A safe place for release, because sometimes we're in conversations and we don't even recognize that the people that we're talking to got friends that they talk to. And before we know it, what we're talking about is all now spread across the community because of the fact that those who was talking to us don't have the character or the capacity to hold their mouths closed with some of our top secrets about things that we've been dealing with. No, when I talk to God, the good thing that I know about this is that ain't nobody else gonna hear that. When I talk to him, it's a safe place. So not only is it a resourceful place, it's a safe place. And then I found that prayer works like this because a lot of us are talking, but we're never listening. Prayer is not just a rambling of your communication. Prayer is also a time that you begin to be quiet. It's called meditation, and you allow for him now to speak to you. It's a time that you begin to shut your eyes. It's a time that you begin to just allow the silence of the room so that you can hear the still small voice of God speak back to you. But watch this. Here's a truth that a lot of people don't want to be honest about. We don't want to pray sometimes because we are afraid of the release of the word that God is going to say back to us. Because prayer can be very uncovering. Prayer can be very uncovering. Prayer can show you the dirty, the nasty, the ills of who you are. Prayer can literally, watch this, because when God gives us a word contrary to our desires, then it puts us into a position that prayer called us into accountability now. Prayer called us into accountability because of the fact that, man, we didn't want to hear that. You know how it is. Like when you finally know that you got some information and the information you got is contrary to the desire that you had, you're now accountable to the information that you got. And as the old folks would say, when you know better, now you got to do better. And a lot of us don't want to pray because we don't want to do no better. Let's just be honest. We're comfortable in being disconnected. Now, that's a bad place. When you find yourself arriving to a territory where you are comfortable being disconnected. Well, where prayer connects us. Prayer unifies us. Prayer will expose the ills that we have. It will expose the times that we've been going through. Prayer will expose those hidden agendas on the inside of us. And if we're honest in our prayer, it will also connect us to our destinies. So that's the danger of prayer. But here's the power of prayer. And I got to wrap this thing up, y'all, but it's getting good to me. The power of prayer is it gives me clear and concise direction. Prayer shows me how to get there. It shows me where to go. And so today, I want to challenge each and every one of you. Take some time out and let's have a curious conversation. It's a conversation with Christ where we're asking him about our destiny and our future. Listen, let's turn up the volume real quick. Let me hear it. All right, so here we are. I want all of us to catch on this for today. That there is a difference between prayer and meditation. Prayer is literally us having a conversation with God. It's me seeking for guidance and directions. It is me becoming downloaded with my divine next. That's what prayer is. However, meditation is absolutely necessary, but it's not prayer. Meditation is me having quiet time to literally decipher the things that the Lord has spoken to me, and then me figuring out the master plan of how to implement it. It's me sitting down and strategizing. Bible says, write the vision, make it plain. Now, there's a vision given to me, that's prayer. But then there's a time for writing it, that's the meditation. Once I meditated, here's what I like to do a lot. I like to write something down. I like to read over it 3 times. So therefore, it becomes a part of me. First time I'm getting familiar. Second time I'm really trying to discern what it's saying. Third time it's becoming me. I want to challenge you. The prayer and the meditation. Let's let those two be separate. Again, prayer is spiritual. Meditation is natural. And both are absolutely necessary. They are needed for us, for the advancement of us individually. I'm not discounting one, but I am saying that both are needed. Don't ever find your life full of meditation and not with prayer. And don't ever find your life full of prayer and not with meditation. The two shall become one. These are your twins for promotion. I want you to really push meditation and prayer. Make sure that you're having that conversation with yourself. And if you find yourself in this balance, you're then going to find yourself in success. Meditation and prayer. Listen, my call to action this week is this. I want each and every one of us to take our time out. Make sure that we're spending just a few more minutes with God. I don't know when you do it. You may pray in the morning. You may pray in the afternoon. You may pray at night. You may pray all 3 times. Hey, you may be praying every hour of the day. I don't know. That's on you. But I want you to take more time out this week to spend time in prayer. Try this curious conversation with God. And then on top of that, I need you to get a pen. I need you to get some paper. I need you to get a journal. Maybe it's going to be in your cell phone, in your notepads, wherever it is. I need you to write down some stuff. And I need you to revisit the things you write. Maybe you're going to wake up and put sticky notes on your mirror that will remind you every morning when you're brushing the gold teeth that now you're going to have an opportunity to see what you're going to manifest. I need you to embody your future and begin to believe that you're going to make it to the destination. I believe that this is going to be a week of elevation for us because we are being intentional about our increase. We are putting the principles in place to make sure that we're prioritizing our future. It's going to be a great week. I want you to join me. If you enjoyed today, you got to tell somebody else. Jump back in. Enjoy with me for what's coming up next. Because listen, next week going to be blazing. You don't want to miss out on our conversation next week. Every week is growing. Every week is getting better. And we're growing because of you. So I want you to make sure that you tell somebody else, this man is talking some serious stuff every week for us. So come in, join in, help me grow this thing, because this is the time for us to have an unscripted discussion. Listen, I want y'all to help me out. I want y'all to connect with me. Make sure that you all like this. Make sure that you all share this. Make sure that you all rate this. Why? Because I need your help. We're growing together. We're all growing together. So I need your help. Make sure that you go out to connect with me. Yep. All the social media platforms. It's Derrick L. McRae. That's Derrick. The initial L. McRae. That's me. Connect with me. I want to talk with you. I want to hear your feedback. God bless y'all. Take care. And I'll see you real soon. Next week. I'll holla.